Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about social media because I have spent a year without it. I'm here to share my results and to talk to you a little bit about my experience. So, a year ago, I posted a video saying that I had been without any kind of social media for 2 months, and that was posted exactly last year on June 24, and today is June 29, so it's been a year and 2 months with no social media. We're going to talk about what the future might be holding for me because I might be coming back to social media, even though that might sound very strange. So, for context, if you haven't watched the other video, I decided to not have social media anymore because I felt like I was spending too much time on it. It was destroying my attention span and also making me procrastinate more. I'm already an innate procrastinator, which is something I don't enjoy, but I'm trying to fix it, and I have fixed it a little bit this year, and I'm going to keep working on it. I wanted to focus on other things. I felt like it was taking up too much space on my life. I said that I had Instagram since I was 12, I had TikTok since I was 14, and last year I was 20, and I felt like it was enough. However, I do have to be honest, I did keep Pinterest. And all the girlies know why I kept Pinterest. I think, like, I don't know. I don't really see Pinterest as like a social media because I'm not really chatting with anyone. I know Pinterest has comments, but I'm not like reading the comments all the time. I very rarely check comments. I just use Pinterest as a source of inspiration for a lot of things, actually, and I really enjoy my time on Pinterest. Also, I don't feel like it's addictive. I go on Pinterest, I spend like 5 minutes there. I sometimes I search something very specific. I don't spend like more than like 10 minutes, I think. So I don't really feel like I have a bad relationship. Also, I had Reddit. I had Reddit because also I don't feel like it's addictive at all. It's something that I only use honestly when when I go to the bathroom. I just scroll on Reddit for like 5 minutes, and it's like how like back in the day they took like newspapers. It just entertains me for a little bit. I read like one or two stories, am I the asshole, and I just move on with my life. I also don't spend a lot of time on it. Sometimes I search specific things on there if I want to hear like real people's opinions or reviews of products or things like that. And I just thought like it's a harmless thing for me. If for you, you want to do a digital detox and you feel like these two apps that I talked about are harmful for you, then maybe don't use them. But for me, they were fine. My problem was mainly Instagram and TikTok. Also, I must say that I didn't like delete my accounts. They are still there. I still received messages from friends, for example, and I did log in on my computer from time to time on Instagram just to see if I had any important message, but I wasn't like scrolling or anything. I was just seeing if any friends that don't have my number for some reason were like contacting me for something, which they were a lot of times actually. So, yeah, I think I made some pretty good rules, and it was very productive and efficient actually, this detox. So let's talk about what I actually felt this year. Firstly, my anxiety. Not being on these platforms made it significantly smaller. I don't feel as much stress. I talked about this in my last video that I'm constantly seeing like very funny things, memes, and then I scroll and it's like war, or it's something very traumatic or sad happening to someone else, and then I get sad because of that. Or outfit check, scroll away, and it's like climate change, the world is gonna end in 5 years. And that was not healthy. That was really messing up with my anxiety because I was already a person who struggled with that, and then having this on top of things made it really worse. And I feel like this is so common. This is not what our nervous system was made to deal with. In a matter of seconds, changing between emotions like this, it is definitely not good for you. So I had a much more relaxed year actually, which was great. I had way less thoughts in my head, in the sense of like intrusive thoughts, thoughts that are created from the outside, or things that I wouldn't have thought about if I wasn't on social media. But not like, I don't mean like important stuff. I mean like things that don't add anything to my life, that will just pop in my head because I saw someone doing a TikTok about it. Also, I felt way less the need to perform. And I say this very carefully because I don't mean to say that I was ever performing or that I am a performative person in any way, but in the sense that like I go somewhere, I eat something, and I didn't even think of like, oh, let me take a picture of this. And I'm also not a person that posted a lot before. I was not posting every day my meal or the places I visit. I'm not like posting stories all the time, but I will just like take a picture for like a possible once a month carousel post on Instagram or something like that. But I didn't realize it even before, and now I just don't feel the need to do that. And yes, my camera roll is way smaller, but two good things is that I enjoy more the moment I'm present. I'm not thinking, oh, let me pick up my phone. And second, I have much more storage on my phone, which is very nice. I was always running out of storage. Another thing that also touches on this performativity thing is that I engaged way less with like fashion trends. I barely bought anything this year actually, because I just look at my closet, I'm like, yeah, this fits me. I like wearing this. Why would I buy more stuff? And I just didn't feel the need to, oh, this trendy thing is so cute. I want to have it. I'm going to buy it. And I just didn't have that ever, which was amazing because that always happened. I'm not also a big consumer, but that will happen like every year with like two or three pieces of clothes, let's say. And this year, yeah, that just didn't happen. So as a consequence of that, I also one saved money, and second, I was more myself. I wore more outfits that were me, my style, and just not even about fashion, just I did more stuff that were about me, not something, oh, I saw this on social media, let me try it. It's just like everything that I did was mostly coming from me, from my desires and from my interests, and that was so good. It was so good to know myself better. Additionally, the decrease on my screen time was very nice. I just spent very little time on my phone. I didn't even think of picking up my phone a lot of times, which made my mom very crazy because I also wouldn't pick up her calls a lot of times because I was just not on my phone. I was doing other things, things that I enjoy, things that I was postponing all the time. A lot of times I would not even bring my phone with me sometimes when I went out. I will go for a walk. Why would I bring my phone? You know, there's nothing on there. There's nothing for me to do there. I will just not use it as much. And that was really nice, honestly. That was something that I will be more attentive of and careful to not spend as much screen time. Even if I go back to social media eventually, I will be very careful and aware because now I know what it feels like and how good it is. Now, I said that I had less thoughts, and that was thoughts that are not mine, things from outside. My mind was quieter, but the thoughts that I did have were more unique, were more me, and also prompted more critical thinking of things around me. What I saw, what was happening in the world, everything that I interacted with, since I wasn't going on Instagram or on TikTok and seeing the opinions of other people first, everything that I interacted with didn't have an immediate comment section that I could just open in less than a second. Since I didn't have that, I was kind of forced to have my own comment spawn in my head with more time so I can have a more structured and logical opinion. It is so important to have your own critical thinking and have your own time to form your opinions without outside voices. It is important to interact with other people's thoughts, but I feel like that's a second thing to do. I think firstly you should spend some time with yourself so you also know like what type of opinions do I usually form, what type of thoughts do usually occur to me, what patterns usually form in my head. That's all ways to know yourself better because of social media or just being online all the time. We lose a lot, and well, we all know how that's affecting our society, especially with AI, for example. A lot of people, since they are already on their phone, they see something on social media, then they open ChatGPT or something like that, and they just search something and they don't even put their phone down and ask themselves first, wait, how do I actually feel about this? What do I think of this? And they just spend their whole time looking at their phones. And this year showed me that I can do all of these things without looking at my phone. And that might sound so silly, like, what do you mean? You didn't know you could think for yourself. I knew that, obviously. It's just that it took me to another level. I know this sounds silly, but truly, like, people forget this. People become not aware of this when they're always constantly looking at their phones, and you lose yourself in the process of scrolling. I think this resonates with a lot of people, so I don't think this is some outrageous take that I'm doing. I think it's already been said by like 1,000 people online, so whatever. Finally, the last benefit is that I have way more free time. Not only that, there were a lot of moments where I was in between activities, in between things that I had to do in my daily life, that I just sat down and I opened my phone and there was nothing to do, so I will just be in boredom, looking at nothing with no thoughts, which is great. We need those moments in our daily life. We cannot always be bombarded with, oh, I just went to class, I'm going to hang out with friends, oh, but I have 20 minutes in the middle, so I'm just gonna scroll and hear more people or put on a podcast or put on whatever. Sometimes it's just good to sit down and not do anything and not be distracted by your phone all the time. That was honestly one of the greatest things of this year that I learned and that I will be taking on forever for the rest of my life, especially because technology is going to keep evolving and new distractions are going to be invented and sold and spread in the market, and everyone is going to be using them. And I just have to take this lesson with me that I need time alone. I need time with no distractions. Just I need to be bored. I need to be bored from time to time, to be relaxed, to be calm, to be in my inner peace and not let everything from outside disturb me. So after I said all of this, you might still be wondering why I said in the beginning why I might be coming back. You're like, are you crazy? You found this, you are not addicted to social media. Why would you risk doing that again? I have a couple of reasons actually. That is because I am literally a communication science major. I'm studying social sciences, but I'm going to specialize in communications. And there's like a 90% chance that my future job is going to be involved with social media. So it's kind of weird that I don't know, I will have no interaction with it. I think I should have experience on this, know more about its evolving state, because social media is always having new features, new things, always new trends that I think I should be on par with. I don't think I should be as disconnected as I was this year, even though it was good. I think I should be in touch with what's happening with my generation, what my peers are interacting with. I was already starting to feel a little bit sometimes like I was a grandma, because I will be with my friends and they will like refer to memes or anything that's like popular on TikTok at the time, you know how that goes. And I'd be like, oh, is that the new TikTok trend? And when I said that, I felt like I was a 6-year-old who doesn't understand how technology really works, and is like, is that what the young folk is talking about in those social media? Like, I already felt, and it was just a year. It's not like it's been like a decade and everything has changed. Like, it's been a year. Like, this is evolving so fast, which is exciting and scary at the same time. I don't know, but I want to be more in touch with the world, and not in the sense of news or anything, because I did keep up with the news by checking newspapers, which is what you should do. You shouldn't be getting all your information first from social media. But in the sense that also a lot of the things that happen in the world are connected to what's happening on the online world. And I don't want to lose that. I want to know more, listening for myself to different discourses, the conversations that are being held in these spaces, which a lot of people disregard but are important. Also for YouTube content for this channel, a lot of times I have to know and I have to go see what people are saying so I can either agree or disagree here, share my opinion. I think for someone who has a YouTube channel and, well, studies communications, it's kind of ironic to not be on social media. I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense, you know? Um, However, the most important thing that I need to practice is self-discipline. I have always had sort of a problem with discipline. I like to go with the flow. I like to do what I feel like in a moment, and that's good a lot of times, but I can't overdo it. And my problem a lot of times is overdoing it. I need to have more discipline in my life. And I feel like last year when I decided I wasn't going to have Instagram and TikTok anymore, I kind of just dealt with, oh, this is bad for my life. I'm procrastinating. I am delaying things. Let me just get rid of it. And now I have more of a perspective of no, I should train myself to have this, but build the discipline to not spend my entire time on it and know how to divide things. Know that this time is for social media and this time is for other things, and practice balance. I think that's what I personally need to work on. So from here on, I am going to do this. I'm going to try to find an equilibrium between touching grass and being on my screen. Hopefully touching more grass than the screen. Try to make it more positive in a sense of being more strict with what I consume and what I see. Being more strict with my algorithm. Everything that I do not want to see, I will click on not interested, which is something that I for some reason struggled with, I realized, because I will always get this one topic that I wouldn't want, or for some reason the algorithm showed me this and now I get videos about this all the time, but I don't really want to see that. And before, when this happened, I will just stay on it because I'm like, oh, showed me this, might be for something. And then I will just be distracted and kind of like zoning out, that I will just like watch whatever was on my For You page. But now that I'm like, that's not good for you, you know? You should curate your algorithm more. I feel like that's the way I should go about. And a lot of people might be watching this and thinking, yeah, that's kind of obvious, you know, you should not consume things that you don't want. But I don't know, for some reason, I just did. I don't know, because I wasn't thinking much when I was on social media. I don't think a lot of people are actively thinking of everything they do on social media. So yeah, I'm just going to be more aware now. I'm going to treat social media also like a more professional thing. I will give it specific slots on my days that I can go on it, and the rest is for myself. Leisure time is not meant to be spent on social media. Make it just something that I do from time to time, not something that I go to every time I have some free time. So that's the balance I want to reach, and that's what I want to do from now on. I think the takeaway from this video is that it was very good to not have social media. I would highly recommend it to anyone who wants to do a detox. You don't have to do it for a year and 2 months. You can do it for more. You can do it for 5 years. You can do it forever. You can only do it for 1 month and see how you feel like. In my opinion, I think to really feel some results in your life and to really feel it to a bigger extent, you should do like a minimum of 3 months. But that's my suggestion. You literally can do anything you want. That's the best thing about life, is that you can do whatever you want when it comes to these things. So, yeah, if that's your thing, if you want some inspiration, here you have it. Go for it. You're not missing out on anything, except if you feel like you are. Then you have to practice what I'm going to do: self discipline, self control, and balance. I feel like I have gained a lot of sovereignty over my emotions and what I feel, and I'm not going back on it. However, I do want to be more in touch with what's going on in the online world. I might even do some updates like every 2 months or something of how it has been and what I've been consuming, and maybe even some recommendations for you that will be kind of cool to do on my part. If that's something you're interested in, or you want to see me talk about something in specific that you're curious about, tell me in the comments and share your thoughts with me. I love to hear them. And I guess I will see you next time. A new video will come out next week. And that was it for today. I hope you have a lovely week. Bye!